Okay, so we're preparing for a grade 3 exam. This is how you should be practicing. Your pieces, which are your Baroque, your classical, and your modern, your list A, B, and C pieces, should be being practiced every day or at least 5 days a week in a performance style. That means you should sit down, you should prepare your mind, you should place your hands on the piano and play as if you're playing in Carnegie Hall. So play your best and make it count every time. If these are not ready, you should be working like crazy to get them finished. Each one of them is worth 16 marks out of 100 and an extra 2 marks for each piece if they're memorized. It's better to play a piece with the music in front of you and do a better job than get that extra 2 marks for memory. So, work on making sure that you have all the elements of the piece before you start to memorize. All right, studies. You will have 2 studies. Each one of these is worth 8 marks. There's no marks extra for memories. So you can use the music if you like. Again, these should be practiced if they're ready in a performance style. If not, you should be working hard to get them ready, according to whatever I've written on your pages, and I'll be giving you the practice hints on your pages. Your technical requirements. This is your scales, contrary motion, triads, and arpeggios. You have the sheets for these on you should be doing practice schedule at this time. So that means every day you should sit down and either do an odd day or an even day's worth of practice. If you make a mistake, you should play that scale again so that the last time you played it will be fresh in your mind and you'll learn it faster like that. They should be played at a slow, steady pace. Not too fast. If you have Piano Marvel, that will give you the exact speed. But, as long as it's around that speed, that's fine. But steady, even tone is what we're looking for. All right, we have ear tests, and ear tests comprise 6% of your exam. So these are just 2 samples of the first ear test, and this is a clap back. So get somebody to or clap for your child. A simple rhythm, not super simple, with dotteds if you can, even 16ths is fine. And you clap it twice, the judge will clap it twice, and then they clap it back the 3rd time. Okay, so that's 1 ear test, that's worth 2 marks. The second ear test is the child will be asked to sing or recognize any of the first 5 degrees of a major scale. So I have sent a link to practice that. So they have to be able to recognize a second, an interval of a second, an interval of a third, a fourth, and a fifth. So I'll show you what these sound like. For example, in the scale of C, let's turn that down. C to D is a second. C to E is a third. C to F is a fourth. And C to G is a fifth. Okay, in the scale of G, G to A is a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth. Okay, so this little link that I sent will practice all of those. You should do those every time you practice, and do that link until you get 10 correct. Now you should be very quickly be getting 10 correct in a row. That's what we're ultimately looking for. So here's some quick little tricks. A third, a second is do, re. It's the second note right after do. A third is kumbaya. If you sing kumbaya, if you know that piece, that'll help you get that. So if you can hear that song in the first 2 notes, it's a third, a major third. A fourth is Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace, is a fourth. And a fifth is Twinkle, Twinkle, or A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So if you can sing any of these 3 songs, you'll know what the interval is. So that will help you get those. And then just do that little exercise link that I sent you. That ear test is worth 2 points. The last ear test is the candidate will be asked to sing the higher or lower of 2 notes played simultaneously. So this is how you can help your child practice for this. Play any 2 notes on the piano and get them to sing the higher note. And play it to make sure that they have it right. or sing the lower note. Play it to make sure they have it right. But don't play it for them. They have to hear it. So the easiest way to hear this is to sing the high note in your head, and then you can find the low note. It's usually easier to hear the high note. La, la, So find that high note in your ear if the judge asks you to sing the low note. It's a little bit harder to find that, but then, you should be able to do it once you've kind of subtracted the high note in your head. Okay, and you should be doing those every day. So those are your 3 ear tests. Now you have your Viva Voce questions. All right, there are several. The candidate should be able to define all of the signs. So know what a clef is, a key signature, a time signature, accidentals, slurs, phrases, staccatos, accents, speed markings, musical terms, the names of the pieces. They should be able to know all of these things in the pieces that they're studying. So make a list of everything. Help your child to get a list together and make a list of everything possible technical in any of their pieces and bring it to the class, and I will give the proper definition for all of them, and they should be able to read that out loud before bed every night, or a couple nights a week, and you should be quizzing them every so often on that. And they know all of this stuff because they have to know it to learn the piece, but it's to bring it to the front of the head in time for exam. This portion is worth 6% of the mark. So 2, they have to know the pitches of all the notes and the durational values of all the notes. So open up their pieces, look up the PDFs, and ask them questions. What's the name of this note? What is the value of this note? I do have a note chart in the page that I would have sent you, the link to the page, so giving durational values of the notes. So they can practice that, and you can quiz them on that. And you can go to musictheory.net and go to note naming and do, practice doing note naming on that as well. Or I might post a link for that as well. So they can practice those, or they can do Flash Note Derby, which is also a good practice. Or Music Learning Community also has note naming in it as well. All right, be able to name the keys of the pieces and studies prepared for the exam. So if they're list A, the judge might say, what is the key of your Baroque piece, or, your Allemande or whatever, and you should be able to say C major or G major or E minor. So they should memorize all the keys of their pieces. If they don't know, they should know, but if they don't know, I will go over it again with them in the class, and we'll write it down on the practice page, and they can practice memorizing that. They have to know which major and minor keys have key signatures of 1 to 4 sharps and 1 to 4 flats. I will have given them this little exercise in class, but here it is again. To find the major keys with 1 to 4 sharps, you can put your right thumb on C. C major has 0, and your finger 5 drops on G. 0, 1. Then you go up 2 semitones. D major has 2 semitones. A major has 3. E major has 4. B major has 5. So if they go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if they can do that, and the judge says to them, what is the major key with 3 sharps? 0, 1, 2, 3. A major. There it is. You do the same thing for flats, except you can use the left hand. Which major key has 2 flats? 0, 1, then go down 2 semitones. B flat major. B flat major, and then E flat major has 3. A flat major has 4. D flat major has 5. So if you memorize 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's for the flats, the major flats. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the major sharps. Okay, the other thing, sight reading. Sight reading should be a piece of cake if you have Piano Marvel and Sasser. Just do your Sasser 2 or 3 times a week. Just a heads up that a reminder to check the key signature, because it can be in the key of C major, G major, or F major. That means it could have one sharp, an F sharp in it, in the key signature, or it can have a B flat in the key signature. So just make sure it might not be in the key of C major with no sharps or flats. But sight reading generally is pretty easy for the kids who have Sasser, because it's pretty easy. Anyway, any questions at all when you look over the sheets, just let me know. We want to get everything, up and running for the exams. Thank you.